Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Smoke Signals. I'm Matt Montgomery, along with head football coach Wayne Coleman. Coach, I guess this is one of those days where you say, Mama said there'd be nights like this.
Yeah, when I was coming in for the show, I was like, wow, what am I going to talk about this show? This is not one of those pleasant things to talk about.
Sometimes when you plan and you prepare and you got a home game and you think everything, the stars are in alignment, everything looks good, sometimes it just doesn't happen. And this was just one of those nights, Coach, where White House was they played their best game of the year, and Jacksonville just picked the time to play basically their worst game of the year.
Yeah, it happens. And they had we talked about this last week, them losing 2 years in a row to us, so they were super motivated, and you've got to match that motivation with your own motivation, and we didn't do that.
They did some things that to me were a bit surprising. First of all, I thought they were a lot faster on defense than I expected them to be. After looking at some of their ball games and their scores and things, they really sealed the edges really well on us, and the plan to get outside just didn't happen.
Yeah, they were a lot more athletic than they have been the last couple of years. They've got good team speed on the defensive side, and they really shut us down on our perimeter.
You had a good opening drive, set the tone really well, and it stalled at the 39. I remember on that first drive, and 17-0 at halftime. I mean, it was like everything they did was right, and they stopped you when they needed to offensively.
Yeah, our third down conversions didn't come through when we needed them to, and stalled some drives out. And you get down that 17-0, and it kind of changes the way you have to approach the rest of the game.
Most of the games in the past, you guys have won the time of possession, but not Friday night. They had the ball 5 more minutes than you did. And an offense like White House, you can't give them those kinds of opportunities.
Well, we've kind of flipped the script here over the last couple of years. They're running the ball a lot more. They're running a wildcat offense a little bit. We're throwing the ball more, and so that resulted in the change of our time of possession.
You played much better in the second half. I mean, you went in at halftime. The kids came out and they seemed to be more motivated, I would say, as they came back out, and you played a much better second half. I know you have to be pleased with that, but when you spot somebody 17-0 in this district, that's going to be hard to overcome.
It is, especially when the other team has done a good job of IDing some of your big playmakers. They did a good job on Cade Chandler, shutting him down, and took away some things that we've been having success with.
You said last week coming into the ball game that you felt like they would try to get Javier Neal involved in the ball game. They're great safety on offense, and they did do that. But what I noticed too, Coach, is that you mentioned taking away Cade Chandler. He would just slide over whenever Cade Chandler was over on that whatever side he was lining up on. Freed up Casey Johnson for some targets as well. But it's White House is really the first team that said, hey, we're not going to let Cade Chandler get deep on us.
They are the first ones who have done that, and it worked well for them. We've got to do a better job as a coaching staff making adjustments to those.
Physically, White House, again, was probably as physical a White House team as I've seen in the last several years, and that goes with them wanting to run the ball more.
It does, no doubt. They have, as a coaching staff over there, kind of preached the mindset of we're going to be more physical and run the football. And so you could see that difference in their kids this year.
People that look at last year's district race, this is similar, except now Jacksonville has the White House role of being 0-2, like White House started last year. White House made the playoffs. So you still control your own destiny being down 0-2 in district. That's not an issue. You still can take care of business and make the playoffs.
No, there's no doubt. We were really in an opposite situation last year after this game. We had already gotten a district win, and they had not, and we both ended up going into the last game of the season anyway, both of us needing to win to get in, and it's going to come down to the same thing again this year.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Jacksonville versus White House last Friday night at Tomato Bowl. White House opens up here with a catch to that young man you talked about they were trying to get the ball to, Javier Neal, down to the 4.
Yeah, he's got good speed, caught us sleeping there a little bit.
And this was very uncharacteristic. Bryce Buchanan's done a great job all year long snapping the ball, and this one just got away from him.
He has. We haven't had hardly any bad snaps like this. Dontrell did a good job of getting on the ball there.
Here's Clayton Cook with a 2-yard touchdown run here. He was a workhorse for them.
He had a good night. They ran the ball better than we thought they could.
Here's the hook and ladder play that Casey Johnson caught. A little bit of a pitch relationship problem here with D.
Yeah, we got a little tight to the sideline there, and the timing was off a little bit. That play's worked well for us in the past.
And Coach, this is one of those character plays, and I saw what you did after this play right here when Dontrell throws this interception. And just watch Art Jacksonville's quarterback here after this interception in the end zone. It's about to be a 100-yard return.
Oh, there's no way that I thought that Dontrell's going to catch him right there. That is just a great effort play on his part.
Of course, the camera doesn't show it, but you were running down there slapping him on the head. Coaches love to see this. Here's an interception by Braylon Ryden at the 2.
Braylon had a really good game for us Friday night. You know, we lost the game, but there's always kids that have great games even in losses, and Braylon had one.
Nice run here by Deshaun McHugh and the junior on this zone read, 28 yards.
Big run here. Wish he could have gone the distance. I thought for a second there we were looking at a 90-something yard touchdown run.
Now here is an unbelievable catch by Casey Johnson. You know, we just talked about how they were targeting Cade. Well, look at this catch.
Nice job by Casey. Beat the man coverage. Big play by him.
Yep. One-on-one coverage, and Casey gets it. What a catch. And here's the 12-yard touchdown run by D. Spencer. This cuts the lead to 17-7, by the way, so it's looking interesting here in this third quarter.
Great run by D right there. Thought we got the onside kick after this. But,
yeah, I want to talk about that in a moment. This is Javier Neal's score from his quarterback, Jacob Clemens, for the 6th. Coach, that makes the final 24-7. Disappointing loss, and you know, it's tough to go down 0-2 and 17-5A, but just as we talked about a moment ago, you still control your own destiny. On that onside kick, by the way, Jacksonville did get that onside kick. It was an inadvertent whistle, and as the official's walking down toward me, I'm talking on the radio, and I said, I think it was an inadvertent whistle, and he immediately looked at me and he said, it's my fault, I blew it.
Yeah, that happens. They're human.
I appreciate him saying that.
Yeah. The officials make mistakes. They can't call a perfect game, and just one of those things you got to live with. It would have been nice to, you know.
I mean, it's 17-7, and you getting the ball back.
It would have been nice to have a 17-7 with the ball at midfield going.
Yeah.
You know, a chance to make it 17-14. But that was the break. It seemed like all the close calls, close breaks the other night went against us, and that happens. You're going to have those nights. You've got to play well enough to overcome them, and we just didn't do that.
Yeah. Well, Coach, it's Ennis week, and of course this time last year, Ennis came to Tomato Bowl, and Jacksonville got the 34-26 win, huge win. And this week you go to Ennis, and this is a really good football team. Not as big as they have been in the past, but very physical team.
Yeah, they put it on White House a couple weeks ago. They've got a great football team, great team speed, the best team speed we've seen this year. So we're going to have to try to match the team speed with them. We're going to have to really, I mean, the key word is execute, and we're going to have to, trying to stop their offense is very, very difficult. Lots of unbalanced formation, power runs. It's going to be a physical game for our defense. And then offensively, we're going to have to get the ball out in space. They're really, they've got a really good linebacker group. We're going to have to get the ball into open spaces with some of our speed kids.
Offensively, Thompson's back at tailback. I think this is his 7th year at Ennis.
Yeah.
Feels like he's been there forever. Outstanding running back.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a big playmaker. You know, they're tossing the ball and they're running it up in that pile of mush inside almost every down, and you've got to stop them for 3 yards and not let them turn that thing into a 50-yard run. And it's going to take a lot of discipline.
And Coach, besides discipline, there's the mental challenge. I mean, obviously, physically, and this is going to be a fast team, strong team. We know that. They were last year, and Jacksonville got the win. Going over there emotionally, going down 0-2 like that, going to their place, you know they're thinking about last year. This is a real challenge for you and your staff to get your players emotionally ready for this football game.
Yeah, it is. But you have to, you know, we talk to the kids all the time about being focused on where you're at and not worrying about standings or scoreboards, or worry about this play right here and my assignment on this play, and then and then when that play's over, worry about the next play. Try not to think about next week or what happens if you win or what happens if you lose. No, that stuff's going to take care of itself. The only thing you can take care of is what you're doing right now. Can you complete your assignment on this play? And we have to, as a coaching staff and as a team, stay focused in the moment. And in the moment right now, we had a great practice this morning, and we're going to flip it over. The kids are going to practice the other side of the ball after school today, and we need to have a great practice after school. And we're going to start with blitz drill. We're going to focus on the little things, and regardless of what the score is Friday night, we need to be a better football team at the end of this week than we were last week.
Coach, tactically, obviously, you want to control the football. Keeping it away from Thompson and the Ennis offense, because they are a ground attack. I mean, that's their MO. They like to run the ball. Can they throw the ball well?
Well, they throw the ball well because they run the ball well. So when they do throw the ball, it's usually a big play. And it goes back to that discipline thing. We're not going to ask you to be the guy that forces the football and covers the deep pass. Nobody has that assignment. So don't try to be the guy that's got the deep ball and you're forcing the football. Those are the guys that give up the big plays. We just need you to do your job, and that goes on both sides of the ball. If you're the guy on the offensive side of the ball that's just responsible for, getting the snap to us, and when we've got a deep pass play called, you just get that snap to us, and then the other 10 guys will try to execute their assignments.
To me, Coach, this ball game, because it didn't work against White House, it's so important, first and second down, to keep from having third and long, because they know you're going to throw the ball with third and long with Dontrell coming in and the way the scheme's been working. So to me, is that something that you guys have focused on? We've got to do better on first and second down.
It is, and what happens is, in the past we've been a ground and pound team with Cam High at quarterback, so it was run the ball on first down, run the ball on second down. And when you've got those players running your offense, you're not ever in third and long. You're always in third and short. Now with the different mentality, the different personnel that we have to work with this year, a great receiving group, a quarterback that can fling the ball. On first down, you are tempted to, hey, we've got a better coverage to throw the ball against on first down, so let's chunk it. Well, then you end up incomplete. Second down, what are you going to do? You're going to hand it off and try to fool them because they're thinking pass. So you hand it off and you get 3 yards, and now you're at 3rd and 7. Now you're thrown into coverage. You got to prevent defense.
Coaches a lot of times will run into people's strengths. Mm-hmm. Ennis is fast. Do you see yourself going wide and trying to get out to the outside, or is it going to be working between the tackles, just trying to run right at them?
We can't get away from what we know how to do, which is run the read option game, and so. We have to have the ability of, if the read tells us to run the ball outside, our perimeter blocking has got to be good, and those kids have got to stay on the blocks. And that's the challenge, because their outside linebackers are very athletic. And so if their defensive end gives us a read to run outside, our perimeter blocking is going to have to be really good.
Yeah, that's the last 2 weeks, Corsicana and White House. Those two teams right there did the best job, in my opinion, of getting off blocks.
Yep.
Locked up, get off the block, make the play, and I know Ennis is going to do the same thing.
That's, people don't, it's hard to recognize that's what's going on in a game. Why that play doesn't work this week. It worked last week.
Yep.
Well,
you're getting off the block.
Yeah, you're trying to block a more athletic kid in space.
Mm-hmm. Coach, talk about the keys to the game for Jacksonville to get the win.
Well, I'll go back to last year's game when we beat a really good Ennis team. And the way we did it was we forced 2 turnovers and we turned the ball over 0. So we basically stole 2 possessions from them and ended up winning the game by 8 points. So we won the game by 1 possession. They ended the game with the ball down near our goal line with a chance to tie. So there's no doubt they're going to get their yards. Mm-hmm. People just don't stop them. You don't get them off the field by making them punt the football. You've got to get them off the field by taking the football away from them.
Stealing a possession.
Force them into a mistake, and then when you've got it, you've got to capitalize with points, or you've got to run a lot of clock off the scoreboard.
Jacksonville hits the road again this week, going to Ennis. Kickoff will be at 7:30. We'll be on the air at 6:50. You can hear the game on 94.3 The Bull. I'm Matt Montgomery for head coach Wayne Coleman. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.